What a sad, sad small world. The ultimate sign that the holidays are over. No small world music, no small world Christmas lights, no lights at all. Completely dark. There's no small world at all. What do you say to make up for it? We work our way over to Fantasyland, figure out what's going on with Snow White, and check out all the beautiful European village decor. I mean, we need some sort of magic, right? Like, Christmas is over, it's a small world, holiday's over, we need some magic. What's more magic than Fantasyland?
For those of you that have been asking me, the Sword in the Stone is back where it belongs. And fun fact, see this little green light peering in that window? That's the mechanism that releases the Sword from the Stone. A cast member that you can't see takes a garage door remote control, aims it at that window, releasing the sword from the stone and a child's dream. Do you think the person that stole it showed up with brute strength and a garage door opener? The opening day Snow White Scary Adventures is currently closed so that they can make it less scary. This will actually be the third time since the park opened that this attraction gets a redo, a full redo. So sure, it's been here since July 17th, 1955, but not this version. The current version has proudly sit here since 1982. And it got completely tore down and rebuilt. Snow White is just like the rest of Fantasyland and all of Disneyland, constantly evolving, constantly changing to better reflect the needs of the guests that are showing up to enjoy its magic. If they're trying to make it less scary, they're not doing a very good job by keeping it all dark and boarded up. Sold Snow White building gives me the creeps. It's hard for me to even imagine what this must have been like when it opened up in '55, looking like a medieval fair. This German-inspired European village decor only makes me want more Fantasyland. There's so many windows and doors that don't actually go anywhere, but making it feel so much more grandiose than this land that is wedged in the heart of the park. No evil witch peering down on us tonight. She'll be back. Snow White will be back. And I dare to say, even better than it was the first two times. This western side of Fantasyland has so many interesting pockets and nooks, making it feel much larger than two attractions, one restaurant, and sometimes a small shop or meet and greet. Just look at all those different spires and folds, creating probably an unnecessary bend between Snow White and Pinocchio's daring journey, which feels completely authentic to all the other attractions here in Fantasyland. But Pinocchio's the new kid on the block. 1983. Pinocchio and pals would show up and start scaring folks. All of the design that goes into second floors of Disneyland, the balconies, the additional windows, the doors, it adds this fantasy that there's things that are happening there, that life exists in parts that we can never touch. If this building was just flat, you would say it's more ceiling. But the fact there's a deck there makes you think somebody sits there. All the extra doors. The bridge that acts as a perfect frame for looking in and looking out at more adventure. What I wouldn't give to walk across it. This area is a pocket of doors. You can only really use a couple, but it makes it feel like there's so many decisions to be made. And all of this design thinking was implemented in Galaxy's Edge. These are the way the Disney Imagineers make things feel real and turn show buildings into imaginary neighborhoods. This area at night with the lights behind it, absolutely beautiful and a great place to watch fireworks. King Arthur's Carousel, Another opening day classic that's not where it used to be, not what it used to be, but I dare anyone to notice. A merry-go-round inspired Disneyland to be built. It only makes sense that when you look through the doors of Sleeping Beauty, that this is what you would see. The inspiration inside of the heart of the park. So when people cry that things are getting modified or moved, it makes me laugh, because so many of these decisions have been made just to make the park better. I love how all of these attractions in Fantasyland have a relationship with Sleeping Beauty's castle. They just keep pulling you right back to it. And this immediate courtyard right outside of the castle has so many of those different pockets and doors, making you feel like your decisions to be made are countless. And as adults, sure, we know how many options that we really have. Oh, I love the Christmas shop. But to a child, it's adventure in every direction that their mind must look. And for adults, great storying and details wherever you look. Behind this facade is one of my favorite trails of all of Disneyland. The quiet path, the quick way to get over to the western side of the park. Let's go right through where those folks are exiting and discover the Fantasy Faire, the newest area of Fantasyland. And I mean really new, done in the 2010s, adding a crucially needed meet and greet, a place for daytime shows, and more of the European facades, feeling like the villagers that live outside the castle. This is the spot where the original Christmas celebrations, the original dancing and partying of Disneyland took place. If Sleeping Beauty's the heart, this is the dancing shoes. What could have easily been built out as a straight wall is folded into so many different pockets, forward and recessing. This amazing animatronic of Figaro. Much like the spires of Galaxy's Edge, these spires create a zigzag of sight lines to make a small courtyard feel infinite in its possibilities and its details. If you notice, the lights in this window are inconsistent, making it feel as if there's candlelight on the other side. In the Royal Hall, it's not for me, but I can appreciate its importance. Have you ever taken the time to spin the music box, giving you the ability to manipulate the crowd, decide if you want a sun or a moon in the sky? A hidden gem of the Fantasy Faire. Sure, Sleeping Beauty's been here since day one and part of what inspired the whole park. But back then it was never considered that one day it would eventually become a giant movie screen. If you look into the entryway right now, you can see the scrim is up for the projection to make it seamless so that you can't see King Arthur through the other side. Even though Sleeping Beauty's never been moved and never will be, the different colorways, the different decorations, the different design elements that have come and gone, like diamonds on its spires or extra gold added or now stars painted on its roof. It's an evolution, just like all of its pals that surround it. In question, is there any land in the entire Disneyland Resort that has more attractions than Fantasyland? I don't think so. The most to offer in its dead center. As we look below what once was going to be the front of the castle, we can see Disneyland's production cast members removing the nighttime scrim. Possibly the most beautiful facade of all of them, but in such a tight corridor and always covered with people, Mr. Toad's is really hard to get up close and to enjoy all of its detailing. And I'm not going to forget Peter Pan, but it's a madhouse over there, and it only gets quieter as we slowly work around the back corners of Fantasyland. The Mad Hatter's, acting as a transitional building, still has that same look, but just a little bit less pockets and folds, appearing singular in its mission as one building and not a neighborhood, so that we can gently transition over to sweet, sweet It's a Small World, currently blacked out. No Christmas lights, no lights at all, no Small World music, nothing. It's gone Betty by as it transitions from its epic Christmas overlay back to the classic that we've all loved since it showed up in the 60s. Small World might take the record for the biggest facade and courtyard of any attraction in all of Disneyland. The Small World Mall is a massive footprint. And I'm curious, as Disney slowly takes out backstage buildings to make more room for us the guests, will we ever go beyond Small World? Or will this always act as the outer perimeter? What was once full of holiday guests is now vacant.
There you go, friends. A rip through Fantasyland, trying to find some magic where we can. But you know, as much as I love Christmas, I had a lot of fun looking at all the buildings tonight, reminding me that the rest of the year is pretty magical too when you're at Disneyland. I don't know about you, but our little walk through Fantasyland got me feeling pretty magical. But as long as you got Disneyland, you can always find a little bit of magic. There's a dog in the teacup. That's magical. That's more magical than Christmas. There's a dog in the teacup. Dog in the teacup. There's a dog in there. Look at this. All right, so the holidays are over, but you can still sit in the teacup. I can still have a good time, right? Just hang out by myself in a teacup. It's what most people my age do, right? Boy, you have lost your damn mind. You know, I'm gonna take my try at this. I hear that they're giving these away these days. How did they steal it? How did somebody do that? How do you get a sword out of the park?